Hi everybody, so today in August, not quite September, we have our first holiday launch and I'm not mad about it because it is absolutely sensational. I can honestly say that having unboxed and looked at this, is it going to be beaten? It is just so good. Last year Lancôme for me had the best palette of the whole of the holiday launches, the eyeshadow palette. Is this one going to be as impressive packaging wise? Could this possibly be beaten by anything? Because it is just absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to show you this and I cannot wait to try it for the very first time here with you today. So I'll do a little bit of comparison so you can see what the formula is like, but ultimately I'm just going to be trying a look on the eyes and the cheeks, and we'll be trying both those lipsticks on my lips today, and I really cannot wait for this. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Hannah and I'm 48, I'm not a professional, I am somebody who loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news that you might be interested in. I do upload here quite a few times a week, so I would love it ever so much if you did subscribe to my channel. But if you're already subscribed, welcome back. Thank you so very much for being here. And my skin tone for matching up with these shades, I've got fair to light skin with predominantly cool undertones that can lean a little bit neutral. And I've also got blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get straight on with this fabulous Lancôme review. If you haven't seen my swatch video, let's do nothing else but look at that first. So here it is. See why I am absolutely in love with this. I was already excited about this from the description and the pictures I'd seen, but when I got this in my hands, I honestly don't think anything has wowed me this much before, anything in my collection, packaging wise, the box, the whole experience of opening this. I mean, everything about it, just from the very first moment when you get it. I mean, just look at it. I have to keep the box on this one, I absolutely have to. This is how they made me feel with the Louvre packaging as well. I remember it was just such a fantastic experience. But this one, I mean, wow. Could this possibly be beaten? I just don't think it could. And with a certain unmentionable launch having just happened this week, I say unmentionable, it is mentionable, but you know what I mean. Let's not spoil this review by talking about other brands right now. But this one's the winner already because the packaging, wow. Just look. So some people have said they don't like how chunky this is because of these lipsticks on the side. I think it's just, I like it because it's unique, it's different. I really like it. I love how vintage it looks. And I just think this could have been something that someone pulled out 100 years ago because it's got that vibe, and that is exactly what it's supposed to do. I think it says it in the description I've got. I'll see if it does. Anyway, this one is £119 and that's where I paid for it anyway. So it says, from festive sparkles to timeless elegance, this limited edition Lancôme drop is the ultimate holiday must-have for collectors and beauty lovers alike. That's all the information I've got. I thought I had a bit more than that. But anyway, I know I read somewhere when this was about to launch that this is very much aimed at taking you back to the vintage cases that used to be available. and I think they've done a fabulous job. And when you think Lancôme is very much linked with Lisa Eldridge, I don't know how much Lisa Eldridge was involved in this, if at all, I don't know. But when you see Lisa's packaging for her lipsticks and then you see this, it does look like there may be a little bit of a connection there for me, but even if not, the theme is just phenomenal. I love the way that you can actually see the top of the lipstick there in the top, can you see? And I love their lipstick packaging anyway. It's just gorgeous, it really is. So you've seen me open it. So this one comes with one brush. I think that's probably the only thing I would rather wasn't there, the brush. So I won't be using that, but I will show it to you so you can see what it's like. It's a fairly standard brush that would be slightly useful, I think, not superbly. And I won't be keeping it in there, but yeah, there's the brush. And then in the mirror, it's got this little sort of diagram. I'm not sure, what's it say? It says, holiday escape on a wonderful journey to happiness, with the eye picture. And then it's showing you where to put each one. They're numbered, but I don't know what the numbers are of each one. But anyway, I'm not going to follow that, but if you did want to follow it, and if you want the numbers, I think I've written them down as A, B, C, D. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not sure what the numbers are, unless I'm missing something and there is a number in here, because it's telling you, maybe it's just saying first you do this, second you do that, I don't know. But I was interrupted then. My son just knocked the door. If I haven't mentioned before, he walks dogs and sometimes he brings him to see me, and this dog, Duke, he walks him twice a week. He's this massive Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and he is the softest, most loving creature. Everyone's terrified of him when they see him, but he's not remotely scary. He's gorgeous. And anyway, it's worth stopping filming to go and see Duke. So I've completely lost my train of thought now. So where was I? I was trying to figure out the numbers. I think that was it. So there were numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are they stages or not? I don't know, but I don't like going by rules, so I won't. The lip one is confusing me with 6, 7, 8. Anyway, let's just not look at that for now. I didn't get this from the Lancôme website. I got this from a French website, so I have linked that below. And they don't put all of the information. In fact, they don't really put any information. So the numbers corresponding to this could be in the description on the Lancôme website. So if you did want to look into that, you can, and then you can see. But I think I will keep this sticker for now in case I want to go back to it, because I do quite like those touches. But like I said, I don't like instructions when I first try a makeup. I like to see for myself. So I think what I'll do first is, I just got a few eyeshadow palettes out to look at the formula. Now I know the formula with Lancôme is fabulous. I've always really enjoyed it. But some of you may not have tried it, and some of you might be extra tempted by this one because of the beauty. But some of you may have got the one that got my #1 vote last year in the holiday launches, and this was the Lancôme Celestial Rose palette. I mean, this is a beauty, and they are coming out with one in exactly this sort of shape with a different cover. Obviously, I think it's going to be pink, matching this sort of theme on the box, even though I've just shown you the back of it. So we are getting one of these as well. It's quite a big collection from Lancôme, but I was able to get this one first. So anyway, last year this was the Colour Story, and this year this is the Colour Story. So it's a lot lighter. The blue is a lot lighter, but we're still getting a brown and a blue, but we're just getting a lighter shade. So I can't really do any swatch comparisons with that one because the colours are so similar. And then that last pink, being a big pink, I'm seeing that as a blush. I've written it down. It's a frosted berry perfect holiday pink, it's described as. So that's all I've got in my description. I don't have much in the way of description. I've picked things up from various places, but not the Lancôme website. So I think what I'll do is I'll get the Natasha Denona 5 pan. This is the Mini Trio Chrome, and this one has a light blue on the end here. So I'll just compare this formula, because we know how Natasha's formulas are. And this one's one of the almost sort of wet, creamy finish. And I'll compare it to the light blue in the Lancôme. So here is the Lancôme, here is Natasha Denona. We have a shade difference here. But if you just want to look at formula, there is Lancôme and there is Natasha Denona. My hand is slightly wet, so that's the reason for that swatch. I should have dried my hands. That's because of Duke coming to visit, so I just washed my hands. So yeah, there's Lancôme. See how smooth and sleek it is. Natasha Denona is just giving more of a shine because of the difference in shades, so that's nothing different. But you can see it's a very, very smooth, very sort of almost wet look finish. Not completely wet look, but very, very smooth, very beautiful formula. I wasn't expecting anything else, to be honest with you. But another comparison I would make would be with the Chanel. I've got the Chanel Rouge, which has that light blue in, so, and I'll also compare the brown in this one. So here is the Chanel Rouge, and here is the Lancôme. I would say that these formulas are quite similar in the fact that there's no real fallout. They're exceptionally smooth. I can tell, well, I know that these two are easy to apply, but I know this one will be too. It's the amount of shine maybe. I don't know, maybe the Chanel is ever so slightly less shiny, but in terms of being very smooth and looking really polished, I would put them all pretty much close together there. Let's compare the brown, I think, the light brown anyway. So here is the brown from this holiday palette I'm showing you today. Look how beautifully that swatches. It really does swatch beautifully. It's incredibly smooth. That one feels a little bit more of a sort of satin maybe, whereas the blue one felt like seems like a bit more of a metallic. But if I look now at the Chanel Rouge, that one has a brown in it, so I'll just compare that. But I've got a feeling this one's a matte, whereas the Lancôme one is definitely more satin / shimmer. So it's more a question of comparing the shades here than the finish. So here is the brown from the Rouge in the matte, and here is the satin. I've got a description, but I don't have formulas, but it feels like a satin to me. So these two are the two from the holiday palette we're looking at today. I've got to be honest, they stand out for me amongst all of those as the two I'd want to use the most already, so that's a really good sign. So I won't go through tons of comparisons, I'll leave it there, but I wanted to show you a quality comparison. So you've seen Chanel, Natasha Denona, and you've seen the one we're looking at today. But I can pretty much vouch for the Lancôme formulas. They are phenomenal. I've really enjoyed them. Oops. That's one thing, is I tip the palette upside down to read the back and the lipsticks fall out. So that's not great, I suppose. That's a bit of a problem. So I'll actually move those to the side. One thing as well worth noting with the lipsticks is with the Celestial Rose collection last year, we had the matching Celestial Rose lipsticks. And with these two, they are fairly standard packaging. Well, they are standard, the lipsticks. They are just the sort of classic black. But we are getting more lipsticks to match, I think, with the one that's coming out for the holidays. So I think we are going to be getting this pinky cover, and we're going to be getting more shades of lips from Lancôme with pinky covers. So don't fear if you're looking for those gorgeous ones, because again, I mean, this was unmatched, the lipstick cover for me. Possibly Clé de Peau had a slightly more incredible one, but I still feel this was probably my favourite last year. Gorgeous. Anyway, I think I'm ready to just put this on my eyes. I can't wait. I think what I'll do today is different looks, because I wouldn't use all of these together. They're all shiny. I'm just looking now at the two of the deeper shades on this side here, these two. And obviously the pink, the large pink, which could be a blush or a highlight, I don't know. Let me look at it again. It's very glowy if it's a blush look, very glowy. But that could also be used on the eyes. I think today I'll try it as a glowy blush, but I might try it on the eyes as well. I think that pink will look really nice with the brown. So I might go for two completely separate looks, even though I'm all in blue. I think I might go for a blue eye and a slightly pinky eye. That would be fun. So let's try that. That's what I'll do. We'll see what happens. So I'll start with this one here. This one is a frosted bronze. I'm using here my Victoria Beckham, the blender brush, number 20 if you're curious rather. been using this one ever since I got it, and every time I try another one from my collection I just want to go back to this because I love it. Such a good brush. In fact, I love the Victoria Beckham brushes. Considering they're synthetic, for me they perform like natural. I love them. And I love the handles on them. Anyway, I'm going off topic, but I really love them. So look how much depth I'm getting from that. It's quite surprising when you see it. I'm sure when you saw this swatched or online, you thought there's not going to be much in the way of pigment, but it's quite surprising just how much pigment I got from that, because I didn't take too much. And obviously I've spread it very widely, and I've used a brush that's not picking up too much. That is really pretty. It's a lovely shade. And even though it is a shiny finish, it's not too shiny to be used here in the crease for me. It's not particularly emphasising texture either, so mature skin friendly shiny finish, which is really good news. So maybe for the other side I'll go straight into this pink I said about. I'll just clean off the brush. I want to use the same brushes. So let's take the pink on this side. I'm going to have two very different eyes today, but anyway, hey ho. It's tipping down with rain outside for the first time in months. I don't know about your area in the world, what you've experienced, but here in Britain, and in Wales in my case, we have had no rain, and that's so unusual for us, but we've had nothing but sun, and all the grass has died in our garden. Lots of my bushes have died, or they look very unwell. Now we've got rain, heavy rain, and it's just, it's a beautiful sight, it really is. Why am I talking about rain? I'm talking about why I won't go out today. That's where I was going with that. So yeah, have you got rain today? We've got a thunder forecast as well, which I really hope happens. I love thunderstorms. But anyway, this pink, slightly more shiny I think, but still not particularly emphasising texture. Reasonable amount of pigment, but this I think is more intended as a blush than an eyeshadow, so it might not perform quite as well as I think it does. I was going to say quite as well as the others, but I think it does. Very, very smooth, both of them. Very smooth, very easy to apply. I'll use the Sonia G Pencil Pro to put that same shade underneath. I'll do that on both sides. Now I'm going to start taking the blue on this side. I think I'm actually going to start with the same brush. So let's take some on the brush. You do need to tap off. I'm noticing quite a bit coming off when I tap off. I'm just going to start with the brush with a sort of gentle application, mixing this together with that brown there. I love these two shades together. I absolutely love them. And look how beautifully they work together. Brown and light blue, or brown and blue generally, is such a nice combination. And now I want to take my finger to give it more of a pop on the, oh look at that. Look at that. Instant pop. So you've got that sort of light blue coverage by using the fluffy brush, and it's going over the brown. Oh, that is just absolutely stunning. Look at that. Well, that's a holiday sparkle, it really is. And I for one, I'm more than happy to start thinking about holidays in August, because I'm so ready for autumn and autumn colours, and I'm so ready to start thinking about prepping for Christmas, because it's just my favourite time of the year. And I know it's crazily early, but I feel really excited looking at holiday stuff today, I really do, and I feel Christmassy doing it, even though it's not even September, but I love that. Some of you may be putting your hands over your ears and screaming at me right now, because lots of you hate talking about Christmas this early, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Look at these two together. I definitely wouldn't use anything else. I would just go with those two. I love that. So let's look on the other side now. I think I'm going to follow exactly the same sort of pattern. Let me try this one. Let's try this one first. So this one is a Rose Nude. I'm going to try this one in the crease, like I did with the blue there. So I'm using the fluffy brush to apply. but I had a feeling, and that's what's happening, the colours aren't different enough to get the same pop that I got with the blue. So I think what I'm going to do with this one is just start it there in the outer V, in the first sort of outer third of my mobile lid. You've seen how easy these are as well. And then I'm going to take, I think, the lighter one out of all of them. So this one is described as a champagne pink with a shimmering base. And there's the pop. But I do feel like this one emphasised my lines a lot more than the blue. I immediately can see that, which it'll look better if I put a bit of liner and mascara on at the end, but initially when you see it like this, it overemphasises the lines on my eyes and I really don't like that. So I'll see how I feel about the way that looks at the end. But it's nowhere near as nice as this side, is it? It really isn't. It's that blue. I just love browns and blues. I love them. So let me take the fluffy brush. Do you know what I'd quite like to do with this look to change it up is take the blue on my pencil pro brush and maybe try and line with it. Introduce a bit of that blue and put some here, sort of thick line here and across the lash line. If you can hear a little song playing, that's my washing machine singing to tell me it's finished. Can you hear it? Does anyone else have a washing machine that sings to them? Still going. Oh yeah, I really like that. This blue is just magic. You add the blue to either looks or to any look and it's just adding that magical touch. I love that. I do feel that both sides need some sort of liner. There's no depth in this for lining really. I mean, the most depth I've got from this is from this deeper brown here, but definitely not enough for me to line. So the question I've got for myself now is, do I go standard brown liner or do I go blue? You know, I won't go blue. I think if I put a blue liner on now, it's going to almost take away from this light blue. I don't want to do that, so I'll stick with a taupe and I'll stick with the liner I've been using pretty much non-stop since the day I got it, and that's the new Makeup by Mario taupe liner. This goes with just about every look, but I don't want my liner shade to take away from the blue. I want it to help to define and show it off. So I'm going to line now underneath on both sides, just a little bit there. I particularly love this side, how it makes that blue pop when you add a liner. So I'm going to take the pencil pro brush, just sort of buff it in a little bit and smooth it. And on the other side I'm going to take a little bit more of the blue again and just sort of go over the taupe with it, because I lost a bit of the blue doing that. I want to bring it back. And I'm going to take this lightest champagne pink on this brush, my BK Beauty 207, and pop that in my inner corner. A sort of bright pop there, and bring it slightly up the nose, side of the nose there. Perfect for that actually, really perfect. And I think I'll also take a bit of this underneath the brow. And I'll do the same on this side with exactly the same shade. So those are my final looks. How quick and easy was that? And they are completely different, aren't they? So a pinky look with a hint of blue, and then the blue and brown. I love the blue and brown, I love it. But I have to say, now that I've added those touches with the pink, I love the pink as well. I really do, and I love the fact that we've got that flexibility. And you could even just skip the pink and maybe use these two, so it would be more of a browny, slightly pink look. So I think you've got a good 3 eye looks here at the very least. So before I do my mascara, I think I'll just see if we can use this pink as a blush. Is it going to be too much? It is incredibly shiny. I would probably argue it's more of a highlighter, but let's see. Let's see how I feel. I am quite partial to a glowy blush, so okay, maybe it's going to work, you know. And this is a party palette, so if we do go a bit glowy, then so be it. It's a holiday look, a holiday palette. We need glow, sparkle. Oh, isn't that fun? Sorry about the bangs in the background. My husband's home and I've given up telling him to be quiet when I'm filming, to be honest. I just can't get through. This is pretty, isn't it? So there is a fair amount of shine, but it's not terrible in terms of emphasising my texture. It really isn't. So it definitely works as a glowy blush. It's not, I'm not going to say it's blurring, but it's also not emphasising. It's giving a lovely soft sheen actually. I love it. Oh, actually when I do that under certain lights, I can see texture quite a bit there. So you might under certain lights think, oh, I don't know, it's emphasising my texture. But I am under beaming lights, and you do need to remember that when you see me apply this, because how many of you are going to see yourselves or other people see you underneath this sort of extreme lighting, which might help you to see the product, but it does exaggerate the shine as well. That is really, really pretty. Very happy with that. When I first saw this, I thought this was going to be more of a blush, and then maybe I could use one of these as a highlight. And that, well, shall I? I'm going to shine in a crazy way then, but anyway, let's just do it. So that was my first thought. These two could be worked together, but maybe if you use a different blush, and this could be your highlight, or this could still be a highlight, a pinky highlight. So I'm using my Victoria Beckham 13 brush. I'm going to take a little bit of that champagne just on the very, whoa, look at that. Definitely works as a highlight though, doesn't it? So we've got a highlight, a blush, 3 eye looks. We're getting our money's worth here. Oh yes. In fact for my skin tone, that's a really nice highlighter. I'll go off camera and do my mascara, seeing as Florrie has decided to start barking, and then we can look at the lipsticks. So I've put some mascara on. I am actually probably going to go in for another layer. So while it's drying, I'm going to look at the lipsticks. And I'm already quite fearful of one of these because it is so bright for me. So that's the one I'll actually start with. This packaging is just so satisfying. I love it. Everything about it. Like I said, this isn't a new design from them. This is how all their lipsticks are if you're not familiar with them. But this is the shade that terrifies me. The embossing on this. Isn't it something else? Look at it. It is absolutely stunning. And it all matches up with the embossing in the eyeshadows and on the box. It's just such a joy to use. It's so I love it so much. I really do. So this is described, they're both velvet mattes by the way, and the one I'm starting with now is the, if I can read it, Magnetic Winter, which is number 12. This is a vibrant crimson red, bold and glamorous, your party essential. So I know a lot of you love your red lips, I do not, but let's see what happens. See if I hate this one. Oh my goodness me. That's too much for me. Let me stop there and let me get a brush before I add any more, because look how bold that is on my lips. This is reading a bit pinky red to me, and not a shade I would wear. This, no. Well, that's a shame because everything's been so incredible for me so far. No, I really don't like this one on me. There's lots of skin tones and eye colours and all sorts of people who will be watching thinking this is perfect for your eyes and your skin tone. And even your lip tone, because that makes a difference, doesn't it? This one is not perfect for me. Not at all. That looks really pinky, but almost like a bright hot pink. Oh, that is not for me. Comfortable matte though, I can give it that. It's a nice comfortable matte, but that is a shame because when you look at it there, look how it translates on the lips for me. It looks so different, doesn't it? I'll show you it on my hand. It's so pinky. I often say this, things look different on me when it comes to lipsticks. So it's a bit difficult for me to review lipsticks because the amount of times I've done a shorts reel and people say, oh, that looked different on someone else, or different on me, or different in store. I think my lips just try to change the colour of everything, to be honest. But yeah, I don't like that. I'm not going to build it up, it's just going to get worse. So I'm going to take it off and move to the next one, and hopefully that one will bring me joy. But number 12 is not for me. Right, so that is off. Let's move to the one I think will work for me, which is number 3. And let's just open it again to enjoy the clunk. So this one is a muted rosewood, soft, elegant, perfect for day wear. The other one was for party, but I won't be moving to party with the other one at any time ever. But anyway, this one looks much better for me. Again, gorgeous embossing, it truly is. So let's try this one on. Now this is better. It's very warm though. They both have a slightly sweet fragrance, very, very mild, but very pleasant. And the pointed ridge of this, you can see, not ridge, edge, makes it very good for lining the lip. The only thing I find is that it's quite warm, which doesn't really go with the eye look, in my opinion. It's certainly not a cool rosewood, this, is it? But I really like it. I really, really like that one, you know. That's really made up for the other one because of how much I like it, but it doesn't go. I mean, it's the blue theme that I really want to concentrate on with this release, because it's the blue that catches my eyes personally. And I don't think it goes very well with the blue. I don't know, if I take the pink side away, does it? Maybe it does. Let's have a look at just the, oh, do you know what, that does make a difference, doesn't it, when I separate my face? I think it goes better when you look at them separately. So maybe it does. I love it. It's quite a unique shade actually. From all the lipsticks I've tried this year, I'm definitely thinking, I don't think I've tried a shade exactly like this. Oh, I love it. And it's really nice for a matte. It's very, very hydrating. You can see how I'm easily moving my lips. I'm not wanting to reach for any sort of lip gloss or lip balm at the moment, which is really good. I do need to dig out my Lancôme lip gloss. Let me look for that. So having just said I don't need a lip gloss, I don't, but I remembered this one because I loved this last year, and this is from the Celestial Rose collection. So what was this called? Just 024 Diamond Glitter, and I was putting this on top of so many looks last year, so I don't know if they're going to come out with something similar with the launch that's coming out, the sort of pinky one we talked about earlier. Let me put some of this on the top. This is my way of turning my lip look into a party look with a little tiny bit of diamond shimmer. It's a lovely formula, and it's not too over the top, the shimmer. It's just a tiny, tiny touch. It's really nice. I'm going to keep that one out and use that one again because I've kept it on my desk, but it's in a little drawer, so I had to find it. But that'll give you an idea, because all of my winter makeup, holiday makeup, has been put away. So for this to still be on my desk somewhere by now is really a good sign. So yeah, maybe we'll get a pink one. Then it might get booted off my desk, but we shall see. So I was thinking with the lipsticks I would try one of each on, and then I would try the two on together. I was going to go for that bold red on the outside and then a pop of this in the middle to see if they work together, but I know now that that other one looks so horrific on me, it just wouldn't work, so there's no point. It's just going to make it look even worse, so I'm not going to do that. If you have a different shade to me, you might find, shade of lip and skin tone generally, you might find that is something that works for you, so you could try that. But not for me today. Can I put these? No, I can't. Can I slot them in from one of these ends, I was thinking, but no, it needs to be opened. The people who were asking, is it chunky, or thinking it's too chunky, I don't think it really is, because the raised bit is not like, it's not deeply raised. So it's not flat, as in it will be flat in your drawer, but it's not a deep, it's not chunky, it's not heavy. You could put this in your handbag without it being too heavy, but look how beautiful it is to pull out. I mean, I would just swap out. I mean, I think that might be one of the reasons they've made the lipstick look like this, because we had these gorgeous ones from last year. So I would be inclined to choose one of these. I mean, and one of my favourites from these is the French tea. Yeah, here's French tea from last year. So I would probably be inclined to swap out and put my French tea in there. That's French tea. A little bit similar to this one though. As I keep saying, we are getting the bigger launch from Lancôme, so you could put one of the new pinky ones in here as well. So the fact that they're all going to fit, because I can show you how last year's one will fit in there. It's not an issue. So you don't have to keep that red one in there. So that's, and if those pink ones have a design like this, that would look really cool. So I will be getting the rest of this release when I can, so I'll definitely be showing you how they might sit in there, the other ones. But yeah, it's not too chunky, and it's just, I can't take my eyes off it. Have you noticed? I'm just absolutely like a kid at Christmas. I truly am. It's just, I love this. So what are your thoughts on everything I've shown you today, which is basically this, but the two looks I tried? This one, wow, that blue, one of the best blues in my collection already, instantly. I love, love, love that blue. The pinky look, I love it too, but the blue helped to add that touch. Oh, absolutely love them, love them. Love it on the cheeks. I have gone a bit wild with the highlighter there. I'm not sure if I'd ever do both like I did today. I'd probably just go with standard blush and then use that highlight shade I used today, the eyeshadow, you know what I mean, as a highlighter, but it works. So the only disappointment was the lipstick, the red lipstick. Everything else, 10 out of 10 plus 100. This is just gorgeous, and it's brought me more joy than anything I've touched all year, without any shadow of a doubt. I know that there's probably eyeshadow palettes that I've used that have maybe given me different looks and things, but it's the whole experience. I love these colours, I love them, as I keep saying. This lipstick shade, beautiful. Cheek shade, beautiful. Packaging, incredible, like nothing I've got in my collection. It makes me feel special, it makes me feel happy. This would be an exceptional gift to give somebody if you wanted to do it, but also why not treat yourself? Put it on your Christmas list, tell someone to get this for you. Because opening this on Christmas Day really would be the highlight of your day, in my opinion. This is, oh, wow, 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 wow. Thank you, Lancôme. Absolutely love it. But I would love to hear what you think. Do you love it? Are you going to get it? I've heard a few people saying they're not the sort of colours that they like, which is a shame, but you can look out for the pinky one of this. Maybe your colours are coming next. Let's hope so. I can't wait for the next one. But this one won't be beaten in packaging, that's for sure. Not in my opinion. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about this? And is it something you'd buy? Anything you've got to say, I would love to hear it. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, I would be super grateful if you did subscribe. Lots of people tune in without subscribing, but it's ever so helpful if you do. So if you could, I would be very, very happy. But if you're already subscribed, you're at the end of another review, and I'm so grateful to you for being here. I truly am. And I really do hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.